It was the year 1979, and the air across Puerto Rico felt heavy with unspoken secrets. High above the coastal plains, dominating the landscape near Salinas, stand two distinctive peaks known locally as Las Tetas de Cay, the Breasts of Cay. These twin mountains, shrouded in mist and folklore, had always attracted attention. But in 1979, they became the epicenter of an event so bizarre, so profoundly unsettling, that it remains one of the most compelling and confounding cold cases in UFO history. This wasn't just another light in the sky. This was an encounter, a discovery, and a disappearance that challenged the very limits of our reality. For those who live near the mountains, strange sights and sounds are part of the local tapestry. But on that specific night, in the fall of 1979, the strangeness escalated into something tangible, something terrifying. Our story centers on a local man named Jose Chino Zayas, a hardworking, pragmatic individual not known for flights of fancy. Zayas, along with a close friend whose name has often been withheld for privacy reasons, ventured into the remote areas near the Tetas. Accounts vary slightly on their exact purpose. Some say they were hunting. Others suggest they were simply exploring, but what they found was universally shocking. As they navigated the dense undergrowth, they were struck by an oppressive silence, broken only by the sound of their own footsteps. Then they saw it. Not a craft, not a flash of light, but a small, non-human entity struggling on the ground. Described by Zayas as being tiny, perhaps no larger than 3 feet tall. The creature had smooth, grayish skin, disproportionately large limbs, and an oversized head with dark, almond-shaped eyes that seemed to reflect the infinite blackness of the night sky. It was clearly injured or distressed, moving with frantic, unnatural movements. The natural human reaction to the truly unknown is often panic, but Zayas's reaction was one of primal fear mixed with territorial instinct. In the remote mountains of Puerto Rico, survival often dictates quick, harsh decisions. Fearing what this creature was, where it came from, and what threat it posed to them, Zayas made a fateful choice that would define the rest of his life and etch this incident permanently into the annals of the unexplained. He decided to eliminate the threat. The details of how the creature died are murky and disturbing, a violent end to an already terrifying encounter. But the immediate aftermath required a different kind of courage, the courage to face what they had just done and what they now possessed. Zayas and his friend knew they couldn't simply leave the body. They also knew that reporting it to the authorities would likely lead to ridicule, or worse, immediate confiscation and silence. Driven by a desire to prove what they had witnessed, or perhaps simply to preserve the terrifying truth, Zayas took the creature's body home. He took drastic, almost clinical measures to ensure its preservation. Using a large glass jar, Zayas carefully submerged the small, unearthly carcass in formaldehyde, a chemical readily available to him, sealing the evidence of the impossible within a clear glass tomb. For a brief period, the preserved entity sat in secrecy, a silent testament to a night of horror on the Tetas de Cay. Zayas confided in a few trusted individuals, and word, as it always does, began to spread. This was too big a secret for one man to keep. Eventually, the story reached the ears of a prominent local businessman, whose identity remains a subject of speculation, but who served as the critical bridge between Zayas and the official world of inquiry. This businessman, recognizing the profound nature of the discovery, reached out not to the police or the military, but to academia. He contacted a respected chemist from the University of Puerto Rico, hoping that a scientific analysis could provide definitive answers without triggering government interference. The chemist, initially skeptical, was reportedly stunned upon viewing the specimen. Preliminary examinations suggested that the entity was indeed biological, but its cellular structure, skeletal arrangement, and overall morphology were unlike anything known in terrestrial biology. The news of a confirmed non-human entity in a jar, even based on preliminary, unofficial chemical analysis, traveled fast, moving from academic circles to local gossip, and finally, inevitably, to the ears of those who monitor such things with extraordinary vigilance. This is the point in the narrative where the mysterious local story transforms into an international incident. Almost immediately following the chemist's involvement, a strange and palpable tension settled over the region. Local residents began reporting unusual activity, not UFO sightings, but the presence of unidentified, heavily equipped personnel. Outsiders driving unmarked, large vehicles were observed patrolling the roads leading up to Salinas and the Tetas de Cay. The atmosphere shifted from curiosity to genuine fear as it became clear that a military or paramilitary investigation was underway. According to later testimony and leaked accounts, Zayas and the businessman were approached by stern, efficient individuals who presented credentials indicating affiliation with the U.S. government. Agency often whispered to be the Air Force Office of Special Investigations or a similar intelligence branch. Their message was simple, direct, and uncompromising. The body must be surrendered immediately. What followed was a tense negotiation, if one can call it that. The specimen, the jar, and all associated materials vanished. Witnesses describe a swift, clean operation. The military presence, which had appeared so suddenly, dissipated just as quickly, leaving behind nothing but the stunned silence of the local community and an empty space where the evidence had once sat. The official story, if one exists, is one of total denial. There was no creature, no jar, no military presence, simply local folklore misinterpreted by overzealous individuals. But for the people of Salinas, the truth was sealed in that missing jar. They had seen Zayas's terror, they had heard the chemist's shock, and they had witnessed the immediate, overwhelming response from an authority that clearly wanted the evidence gone. Today, the Tetas de Cay stand as majestic and mysterious as ever, silent witnesses to that terrifying night in 1979. The Salinas incident is often overshadowed by more famous UFO cases, but its unique feature, a small, tangible biological specimen, allegedly preserved and then seized, makes it profoundly significant. It challenges the conventional narrative of fleeting encounters and pushes the boundaries toward physical evidence of non-terrestrial life. For decades, Jose Chino Zayas lived with the burden of that night, haunted by the creature he killed and the truth that was taken from him. While skeptics dismiss the entire episode as a misidentification of a small monkey or some other terrestrial animal, the uniformity of the initial descriptions, the involvement of an academic chemist, and the overwhelming, rapid military response suggests something far more complex, something truly alien. The legacy of the 1979 Salinas incident is not about a definitive answer, but about the lasting question. What exactly did Zayas find on the slopes of the Tetas de Cay? And why did powerful forces move so quickly and decisively to erase all traces of it? The jar is gone, the evidence confiscated, but the story persists, whispered in the valleys of Puerto Rico, a stark reminder that perhaps the strangest visitors to our planet walk among us, hidden in plain sight, waiting for the night when they might fall. If you are fascinated by the intersection of folklore, science, and government secrecy, hit that like button. Let me know in the comments below. Do you believe Zayas found something truly extraterrestrial? Or was this simply a case of military overreach regarding a misidentified animal? Don't forget to subscribe for more deep dives into the world's most compelling mysteries. Thanks for watching.